What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Intro week is officially over. Here we are, ready for week 2. The block is off to possibly the most perfect start I could ask for. Everything I've hit was far beyond my expectation in terms of weight, in terms of difficulty. The body feels great. There's a lot of acute fatigue present right now, just from the intro week, kind of jumping back into the swing of things. The body doesn't really like that week 2. Historically, it's pretty much my weakest week, especially on deadlift. It tends to be the case. Back and legs were pretty sore coming into the session, which is normal. Generally speaking, it's not the case. But because it's week 2, it tends to be like my body hasn't really adapted to the current workload yet. So I tend to take a couple of weeks to pick up that speed, and then normally I'm good to go. So essentially what happened in this session is that everything is my top sets are all capped at a certain weight, just so if I feel good I'm not going to end up pushing. So the ceiling for this session was 270 kilos, which ended up hitting very, very easy. RP prescribed was an RP of 7, pretty much bang on the money. Everything is far ahead of my expectations. I'm very much ahead of my previous block as well, which is very, very reassuring. Now, warm-ups didn't feel great up until when I took the 220. I was like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna make the jump. So normally I jump with 20s if I'm in a normal gym, but as of late, the last sort of 6 weeks, I've kind of gotten into the habit of jumping by 25 kilos. So I just go like 20, 70, 120, 170 and 220. And today was, not today, but it was a Monday. So 2 days ago was the first day I managed to jump 220, 270, and it felt absolutely amazing. So very, very excited about that. It really makes me feel like 270 is no longer a heavy weight for me, which is obviously 90% of that 300. So very, very excited. Hopefully we will post squat 300 in 19 days time, 21 days from this particular session. That's the plan. Sticking to the plan. Everything is feeling good. I just gotta make sure I time everything right and be on my P's and Q's with recovery. So yeah, on this particular day, mentally I felt very, very switched on. I was very calm, very, very confident about my abilities. I didn't feel good physically. I knew my legs were very tired from split squats 2 days ago. I could feel it, but I knew 270 is not gonna be a problem. Didn't really need much hype. I just wanted to make sure I get it right, get it perfect, and ended up doing just that. So very, very happy. Pretty much the best 270 I've ever done. Very happy with the depth, very happy with the pause, very happy with the execution. Just, yeah, everything is like looking very positive at the minute. And then the following back down sets were also very reassuring. Ended up hitting 205 for 8 pause, and it was like sub 6 RPE, which was meant to be a 7 on the last set. So very happy about that. The best pause squat I've hit the previous block was 210 for 8, and it was pretty hard in comparison. So next week I'm looking to replicate that and make it easier, and then I'll have 2 more weeks to hopefully get up to that 220, 225 range for a set of 8. Pause the RP of 7 whilst holding myself to high standards when it comes to pausing every single rep. Now, it was crazy for me to think that, because like the previous week, so in the intro week, this SBD session, which was quite a bit easier, took me significantly longer than this time around. So I'm very happy about the fact that my body is picking up speed a little bit faster than in previous blocks. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I weigh less. So I just seem to be getting out of breath a little bit less and recover a little bit faster between sets. So that's also very reassuring. I'm feeling very strong. Technically I feel very sound. I don't really need to think about what I'm doing under the bar. It's kind of coming to me naturally, which is very nice. Also, it's significantly warmer now, so I don't need to squat a hoodie and wear like 3 layers to do stuff. So very happy about that too. It seems to just put me in a better mood in general. Now, obviously I talked about goals a couple of videos ago, and actually those goals become more realistic as the sessions go by. So yeah, it's crazy to think that just like that pure commitment of like sticking to your RPs and sticking to the progression schemes tend to kind of work off in the long run if you just wait for your body to do its thing and make sure you stay healthy. And if something doesn't feel right, then obviously just don't push. So we'll see what happens. It will be very interesting to see if I can do the 300 pause squat and then still high bar 255 for 5 3 days later. I'll be very interested to see if I can do that because that would put me above and beyond my expectations, because in the previous block I timed it different, where I did the 250 for 5, and then obviously 4 days later I scored the 295. So I'm interested to see whether if just having a little bit of an easier squat session a few days prior in comparison to the previous block is gonna have a positive effect on my Monday session in the last week, which is my strongest week. So we'll see what happens. But if I could take those two goals off and maybe pull 320 better, or maybe pull like 322 or 325, that would put me in a very good spot to start totaling towards that 850 mark, which is kind of like the goal for this year, to get as close or surpass 850 at 93 kilos. We'll see what happens with that one. It's a big ask, considering at the last British in 2019, which was pretty much 18 months ago, I totaled 760 at 93. So I'll be very interested to see what I can put together when it comes to competition time. There's a lot of dates now flying around with competitions. There's a lot of regionals that are like scheduled for like May, June, July. The government kind of put out this plan to open up the country over time. So hopefully events are legally allowed to be held from May. So hopefully in May we will have some competitions, which I would be very interested to do without cutting the weight, just to kind of shake off this like platform rust. So I haven't competed for such a long time. Last time I really competed without an injury was back in September 2019. So by the time June, May comes around, that's almost 2 years, which is a very long time away from competitions. And obviously doing the mock meet at home is not quite the same. So, but bench on this particular day felt absolutely phenomenal. Warmed up to 180 raw, which is like below an opener for me. We moved like absolute air. Then I took 200 as a last warm-up, which was my top single last week. It was just absolutely effortless. Everything feels very good. Also last week I had a lift off, this week I didn't, and ended up hitting 210, also very easy for the top single at RPE of 8. Very, very happy about that. Bench is trending exactly where I want it to be right now, which is very exciting. And then I've had some sets of 6 with 170 kilos, just like absolutely effortless work. Very happy about that. Then I've had, I think it's 125 or 130, I can't quite see. I'm pretty sure it's 125 for sets of 8 on Larson. Again, just quite underwhelming work at the minute. I don't really need that high intensity on bench for it to kind of carry over. So when it comes to deadlifting, unfortunately on my top set my camera fell, but that was the best 290 kilo pull I've ever done. I truly feel like I'll be opening around the 300, 310 mark when it comes to competition time, which is scary, because there will be like already a comp PB and I haven't even pulled the third attempt just yet. So very exciting. Grip feels like rock solid. Technique feels like absolutely phenomenal. Back feels so damn strong. Even after like a very long SBD day, I can still pull big. So very excited to see what to come in future blocks. I'm just looking to chip away 10.5, 5 every block. I'll be happy with that. Especially after having that period between like 2018 and 2020 where my deadlift just wasn't moving at all. So very excited about that. Then I've had this touch and go stiff leg deadlifts with 150. It's just crazy for me that this movement is becoming easier and easier, even though I'm putting more weight on the bar. I have this goal that I want to do 170 to 180, 4 sets of stiff leg no belt. That would put me in a very good position to pull something big, and also would be a good sign that my back is getting stronger, which is very good. Then obviously my lowest priority day of the week, Tuesday, just some light bench 6s and some 10s on Larson, just kind of cruising through some very low intensity work, just essentially skill practice, making sure the setup and the touches and the poses, everything feel good. Everything felt great. Then I had a lot of hypertrophy work, which I'm not going to bore you guys with. It's pretty much the same as last week, just a little bit more weight or better quality reps. Looking for that nice progression block to block and week to week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much to say. Still just kind of building up, getting ready for the 300. Next week we'll take 280 on the pull squat and hopefully pull 300 at the lowest RPE I ever have. So please tune in for that one. But until Sunday, that pretty much sums everything up. Not much happening this week. It's still quite boring. Just I wanted to show you guys, keeping it real, keeping it honest, how to set up a block, and make sure you wait for those weeks that are very important and not trying to hit those PRs in week 1 or week 2. So if you ended up listening to all of this, thank you so much, and I should see you guys next time. Peace.